G'day, guys. Great to be with you. Today, Mike Klingler's going to kickstart the Blitz, the 3-month Blitz or the Summer Blitz, or for those who are in the Southern Hemisphere, the Winter Blitz. And he's going to help you fast track, help you simplify it, and how that you can learn to collaborate with leaders and with the community and how you can build an amazing team. So stay tuned and listening closely, and please take some notes, and we look forward to your feedback later on.
Welcome everybody. I'm looking to see if I have carrots in my teeth. I was trying to eat some carrot and a radish salad. It's actually really tasty. Doesn't sound that good, but it actually is really good. I was just chomping on that. So also what I was doing in between chomping was leaving some Facebook messages with Robert Hollis, introducing them to different individuals that I've started working with recently. And that's open to all of you. And I really encourage all of you to really find a way to put me and Robert to work. Robert is exceptional at what he does. I'm going to talk about some things that I've learned, and you've heard me talk about him in the last couple of weeks since working with him, but as I work with him, I feel I get clearer and clearer at how to articulate what sets him apart from most in the industry and what sets all of the big successes apart. And when I talk about success, I'm talking not just about, people making a lot of money in the industry. I'm talking about those who do it effortlessly. I'm talking about those that do it in flow. I'm talking about those who do it and have a lot of fun while they do it. I'm talking about those who can do it very quickly and who are seeing duplication and helping a lot of other people make money quickly. That's what I mean by successful. And it's become very vividly clear to me what those that are able to do that and who are able to create success, help other people make money very quickly, and for them to help other people make money very quickly, and that create those massive success stories. Remember, Robert Hollis, I don't know if you guys know this, he was actually surprised to find out. I asked him to look. Robert Hollis got to 100K affiliate in his 6th week. And somebody had asked me a great question, and by the way, and he got to 500K affiliate like in his 7th or 8th month, or maybe it was even sooner than that. I got to 50K affiliate my first month. That's great, but I'd have to have a really big ego to not listen to what he's done that has allowed him to, make $200,000 this month. And I know it's not all about the money, but that really says it all. Like, he's helping other people make money. That's why he's so successful. And he's doing it with something very specific. And we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to keep talking about it. It's all I'm going to be talking about for most of the time. How does the marketing fit in? How does my method fit in? We're going to talk about that. What do most people do differently that is hard and less effective? We're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to open this up to questions. Before I do, I wanted to read this introduction to this meetup. This is a weekly meetup that we'll hold every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, which is, of course, 9 Eastern. I know it's not a great time for people in Europe. So we also have our Wednesday session for those. This is for everybody that's in the community. We also have a session at 2 o'clock Pacific every Wednesday. I changed it to Thursday this week because we met with somebody who, has built big organizations before, and it was tough nailing them down on a schedule. And I will improvise that way as we go forward. If it's an important meetup, we'll move things around. But typically every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific, we have our meetup with those that are in the 10 Upline Rotators group. This one tonight is every week, again at 6 o'clock Pacific Friday, for everybody in our community. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. We're going to be posting a lot more sessions to do action planning and goal setting and to help you hit your income goals. And I'm excited to kick those off again, and we can talk about some of that tonight. We can connect with you tonight on that too. I'm excited to do a lot more of those, not just to connect with those of you I haven't yet to make sure your income goals line up with your action plan, but I'm really excited to meet with people I already met with and find out what you're doing and not doing and what your trajectory is to say, do we need to change something here? And to look over the interactions you're having and what's happening and not happening in your business, so I can give you specific feedback on how to navigate all that to make sure you're changing either what you're doing or or the approach, or you're knowing what the next step is depending on what strategy you're using. I'm looking at your interactions and the conversations you're having with prospects, and I'm helping you correct that. And then based on what I'm seeing, I'm telling you if it's reasonable, if your income goal and the date you want to accomplish it is reasonable based on what I'm seeing that you're doing and not doing. I'm really excited to have those. I'm just easing into the beginning of this blitz by doing a lot of Zooms, connecting with a lot of people, connecting a lot of people of your prospects with Robert Hollis. And I really encourage you to continue to look at ways that you can increase your effectiveness to be able to bring quality people to us without you having to be the expert. Whether you're doing cold market, I know some of you are in our leads generation process and you're getting ready for leads to start rolling in. I know others of you are doing the free methods, like what Aaron Parker does on Facebook Messenger. Others of you might be getting ready to approach 8, 9s, and 10s, people of influence, and still trying to get the language down to feel comfortable, to find your flow with that. We'll talk more about that today. Whatever your strategy and whatever your method, I really encourage you to seize the moment, because not only do we have an amazing company with an amazing CEO who's 29 years old, who's making all the right investments, who's running this company extremely lean. He doesn't have a bunch of money going into all these fancy warehouses so he can put those on glossy covers and try to impress the world. He doesn't waste money. He comes from a business background, is extremely effective at how he invests the money into the operation. And he's using that extra money, which is a lot. When you know how to do that, it's a big difference. He's also not just lining his pockets. He had shared with Robert Hollis, for example, he's already set up personally financially. He doesn't need to take more money. He's already met all those needs. So instead of lining his pockets, and instead of trying to invest into things that make them look bigger and badder than they need to in order to show off, he's putting all that extra money into product development, into a compensation plan. Robert sharing with me, he's done really well with companies in the past. He's making 30% more than he's ever seen before with additional checks that are built into that. He just got a $100,000 bonus yesterday for achieving the next level. He says he's never seen this generous of a compensation plan before. The extra money that Josh, this incredible 29-year-old CEO, is saving by running and knowing how to run a lean operation and not being wasteful, is also going into hiring top talent at all these key departments: customer support, product development, marketing, human resources, the whole thing, manufacturing. He's finding these key people that were with companies that were key players and were known and highly paid and well taken care of in other companies, and their teams known as key players and taking companies from millions to billions. And he's going out and recruiting them and saying, what do I got to pay you? And he's bringing not only those key players over, but their teams into key positions. We've got the company, and that's an understatement. We've got the products, because he's investing into product development, bringing products like the essential oils to us at a significantly reduced cost at the same quality as like a doTERRA, because that's another place he's able to put the savings. We've got the compensation, but we've got everything. We got all that. And what I'm getting at is, once you're confident in that and understand that, the only missing piece is, do you have the support? And it's so important to understand how unique it is for us to have access to Robert Hollis right now at the level and degree that we do. That has a great deal to do with, it's a couple of things that are a moment of opportunity that you do not want to let slip by. It's because of where he's at in his life. And I think he's 58 years old, and the success that he's had, and being a top earner in many companies, and the experience and the confidence that gives him. But it's more than that. It's more than that. It's the fact that he's one of, if not the top earner in the company. I think behind Jenna, he might be the top earner. I don't know that for sure. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Not that it matters. He's going to make 200 grand this month. He's made over $1.7 million in the last 26 months, which was from the very first day that he joined. It takes a long time usually to get into a trajectory in this model. So to say from his very first start day, 26 months, 1.7 million, it's insane. He's on a trajectory to be doing $1 million a month in a couple of years. This has additionally boosted his confidence and how much fun he's having. He also isn't here just for the money. He clearly loves what he does. I said, some people, when they get a $100,000 bonus in a day, they're going to go out and buy something stupid like a Lamborghini or something. And he laughed and he said, a few years ago, I don't know when it was, he bought a Rolls-Royce Ghost. He said it sat in the garage. We didn't put more than a few thousand miles on it. I almost never drove it because I love being here doing what I do, and it shows. He really loves what he's doing. He loves helping people. But there's an additional piece to this. He's extremely motivated because he used to be a race car driver. He's like me. We go for goals for the fun of it. You want to leverage that. You want to understand the timing of this whole moment and realize you can tap into that. It's available to you for you to work with two people who are used to making millions. You don't have to pay for it. And one of them, him, is making over $1 million now and growing, having a blast, having a ball, totally available. And a big piece of the motivation for him, he used to be a race car driver mechanic, and he would get out there on the track, and he was a race car driver as well. And he would race with some of the best in the world. And he said he used to just love getting behind the best. And he said he would look at when they'd hit the brakes, and look at when they sped up out of a turn, and he would just copy and model them. People like Robert and I, and some of you, just love to become really good at something. And for us, it's not just about the money, although the freedom and what you can do with that and how much you can help people around you as you get to insane levels of income, CEO level income, but with the freedom of this model, we get really excited when we think about the things that we can do. But what's even more motivating is just the accomplishing of it. The icing on the cake of the moment is that he's really motivated to get from super affiliate to master affiliate. His wife is really excited about a house that they would like to buy, and they don't want huge payments. It's a multi-million-dollar house, their dream house. And when he gets to master affiliate, this company will pay him a $500,000 bonus and $100,000 a month bonus on top of everything else. It's fun for people like him and I to achieve things like that, just to have done it. We all get to benefit from the moment, to work with somebody in that zone, having a blast, who's worked his entire life to develop incredible skills of simplicity. And again, what's so beautiful about this is the skill he has developed is he has mastered how to teach people how to build this business without skill. That's his skill. He spent his whole life mastering a special skill set that teaches people how to make money in this business without having to have skill. Isn't that amazing? I think it is. You put all of this together, the timing of the company and the CEO, Josh Swagel, and what we see him doing, running amazingly lean company, putting all that extra money into the compensation plan, paying much more to motivate people like Robert Hollis to work with people like us and not go into retirement, to put that money into amazing product development that brings the prices of the product down, but leaving the quality way up, and invests into going into the top positions, the people who have the top positions in all these other companies, that took those companies to billion-dollar companies and recruiting them over with their departments in all the different departments. When you take all of that and you couple that with the fact that you have access to Robert Hollis, who's in the twilight years of his career, and there's this little window of time, these next 6 months, where he'll be working as hard as he did when he was broke, but it's all flow. It's all laughter. It's all giddy fun. After developing the mastery of over 30 years, how to teach people how to build this fast and easy to make a lot of money, having a blast themselves without having to have skill. I just really want to make sure you guys see that and sees that. It's just absolutely amazing. Okay, so with all of that said, let me kind of break up what I've learned, and I shared it with him, and he loved it. I felt a lot of, I was humbled by how much he loved how I explained this. And he says, "You're a great teacher." I basically broke down what I had gained in working with him, and I felt like really, really honored for him to say that to me. What I've learned in working with him, and I've explained it in different ways, I think this will be helpful. It certainly was for me, and Robert also really enjoyed it. There are 3 ways to build this business, and most people build it the first way, which is prospecting. You can also think of prospecting as selling, although it's mostly prospecting, and then it moves into selling, and that's the same thing. I'm going to call it mostly prospecting. A lot of you are familiar with that term. It's what most of the industry does, and it's when you're presenting the opportunity or the products to the person you're talking to or reaching out to. And that's where most of our mindsets are trained to be. There's nothing wrong with that being a part of what you're doing, but I wouldn't suggest it be all of what you're doing. There's 2 other ways I'm going to get into. So I'm not saying never to do prospecting. You can. But if it's all you do, it's going to be a rough road. It's going to take a long time to make money. And this is how most people are building their businesses. This is how most people are taught to build their businesses. The second, higher leveraging way to build is good marketing. That's how I launched my business and put a lot of volume under a lot of you. It's how at any time I could put, a huge amount of volume in the business, bring in a huge number of people and create a surge of momentum. There's a lot of leverage in it. I advertise online, leads come through, they get automated emails, they get broadcast emails that I send in the moment. We send them to different things, and a lot of them sign up without ever talking to them. It can be, if done well, higher leveraging than prospecting, but you have to spend a lot of money. And that scares a lot of people. I don't even want to encourage anyone to spend a lot of money because they might have the wrong mindset, quit early, end up wasting money and blaming me. I don't want that liability. So I didn't tell people to go out there and spend $3,000 to $5,000 a month on it, and I never would. You can supplement with it, and that's really how I recommend people consider using marketing, whether it's solo ads or the leads that we're generating or something else. It can be a great supplement. But if you're going to solely use marketing, you have to, and that's all you're going to do, like I launched with, you have to spend a lot of money to create a lot of momentum. And it can be really effective if you do that. But you have to have a really good mindset, and you need to be able to deal with the ups and downs. Like there were a couple of weeks where no one was really responding to my emails, and I felt a little nerve-wracked, and I had to, adjust. And I would share my emails with you guys of exactly what I would send out to address things like that. And then I got the most signups of the whole period of time, right following the moment but you have to go through that up and down thing and not have it really affect you. And a lot of people quit or get scared or whatever, and it's just not going to be a good way for a lot of people to build because they're putting a lot of money out and they can't handle that emotional roller coaster, and so they self-sabotage. So it's not duplicatable. It's also not duplicatable in the sense, again, it can be a supplement. It should be considered a supplement. It doesn't have to be used, but could be. But it's not very duplicatable if it's all that you're doing. And it's also not duplicatable, not just because of the cost to create the massive momentum, but it creates these weird expectations. Like someone, even though I said, if you're going to do marketing, don't even do it if you're not going to spend $300 a month. Like I often said that. I said 200 at the most extreme least. And then people would come in, spend $300 to $500 a month. And then if they're not excited by the momentum and not really do anything else or much else, and then they quit. So it's like, no matter what you say, it seems to like set people up for, having unrealistic expectations. So it's not duplicatable in that sense either. And the third reason why it breaks down in duplication is it takes time for people to set up their lead capture pages. One of the first steps is go through these several hours of training to get things set up. And a lot of people aren't going to do that. Now, we still have a huge ad budget going right now. I still employ marketing into the process, but by itself is not strong enough for those reasons. So we got prospecting. We have marketing that can be higher leverage when done properly than just prospecting alone. And then after marketing is the third option, which is what Robert Hollis has mastered, and that's being a connector. And as a connector, you're able to make huge growth happen really, really fast. You're able to help others get into income really, really fast. Why? Because it's extremely duplicatable. The drawbacks are if you lack confidence, if you are so afraid to connect at all, you're going to shut down. And that's why a lot of people go to prospecting and kind of keeping a distance, as much of a distance in the process. They go to marketing and automated systems. And so that's why they're struggling, because they're afraid to just step into the role of connector, which is just, it's a different mindset. It's a different state of being, and anyone can step into it at any time. It's beautiful. Robert is so successful at not just making so much growth and money, manifest so quickly himself, but for the people he brings in and their people, because from the very beginning, he's teaching them how, and he's demonstrating how to be a connector. A connector does not have to be the expert. A connector, once they understand it and do it, it doesn't take hardly any time to become very effective and efficient at connecting the right people to the company who will produce. A connector sounds something like this, and it can sound a little bit different depending on if it's your social media or if you're reaching out on a DM, a private message, versus reaching out to a successful person versus speaking to somebody who's on a scale of 1, in terms of influence. It's, and asking for referrals from them to find a 3, to find a 5, to find a 7, to find a 10. Depending on the situation, it can sound a little bit different, but I'm going to give you an example. And those of you who've been following what's going on, you kind of know this language because you've been listening to Robert say variations of this. It sounds something like this, the connector. It sounds like something like, hey, Tom, I'm expanding a company. I'm really excited about it. They did 170 million last year. So they're doing really, really well. And I was wondering if you could help me. I know that you're really successful in what you're doing with your business. And I thought maybe if you could just look at a video from our CEO, you might, in just a couple of minutes, some people might come to mind that would be interested in helping us expand this company. Would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to look at a video real quick of our CEO just kind of talking about the vision of the company? It might bring someone to mind. Maybe you know somebody who's really been hit hard by the pandemic and they've lost a lot of their business income. Or maybe you know a millennial who's kind of looking at their future and not really sure where they fit into the economy and what their opportunities are anymore. Maybe you know somebody who's entrepreneurial, who's always looking for opportunities, or who's quite successful themselves and just kind of in between and looking for an opportunity. Would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to watch that video from our CEO and let me know if there's anyone that comes to mind that you could put me in touch with, that this would be a perfect opportunity for? That's kind of what it sounds like. That's an example of the language of a connector. You do not have to be the expert. If they ask you questions, you're like, oh, I've just gotten started with it. I'm really excited about it, but I'm not an expert. I work with Robert Hollis and Mike Klingler, my business partners. I could put you in touch with them. If you watch the video, have some questions, I could put you in touch with them, and they can answer all your questions. Once you get comfortable with that, and you understand that your role is not to be the expert until you're making money, once you understand that it's not your job to be able to explain everything about the products in the company, and you're just taking the role of connector, not salesperson, you now understand how to make big income happen fast. It's very, very different. It's incredibly simple. It's incredibly fun. It takes all the pressure off of you. I'm going to give you that language another way. There's something that actually Robert mentioned in that language that makes it even stronger. And we're going to work on this language over and over and over again. Because I believe that this is the secret to the shortcut that all of you are looking for. I don't like to talk about shortcuts, but in working with Robert Hollis, I realized what his shortcut was and how he got people to income so fast. He's teaching the connector role. And I'm going to do that language again, because here's another version of it. I'm adding one more piece. Hey, Tom, hey, look, I'm expanding a company that I'm really excited to be part of. They did 170 million last year. They're growing really fast. They're doing really well. They're an international company. They paid 12 people over $1 million already who are part of this expansion. I'm looking for really good people. And I know that you're very successful. People trust you. They respect you. I thought, if you could just do me a favor, it'd only take a couple of minutes to look at a video from the CEO of this company who kind of breaks down the vision of the company. Maybe some people would come to mind that you knew that have been hurt really bad from the pandemic. Maybe their businesses and their business income's been crushed. Maybe they're in between opportunities, or maybe someone will come to mind that's entrepreneurial. Would you mind taking a look at that real quick? Just take a look at the video when you have a second, and let me know if anyone comes to mind that could help me expand this company. We're looking for some great people. Here's what makes that so powerful. You don't have to be the expert. You can say flat out, if a question comes your way, I'm not the expert, but I'm just getting started with this thing. But I can put you in touch with a millionaire who's doing phenomenally well with it that can answer all the questions. You're not having to be the salesperson. You're not having to take time, and your people who are coming in are not having to take time to be the experts. They're not having to take time to set up lead capture pages. They're not having to take time to learn the compensation plan. They're not once you get into this, you realize how easy it is, because everyone, including the people you bring in, will be much more apt to reach out and connect. And there won't be that hesitation, that procrastination, and that overthinking and over planning that creates this massive exponential delay. None of that will be there, because you and your team don't feel the heaviness of the responsibility to be the one who knows all the answers. So there's all these different factors and barriers that just collapse when you get into this mode, and you realize this can be so ridiculously easy and simple once you move into connector mode and once you teach connector mode. Again, prospector, when you connect with someone, you're trying to get them into the opportunity, you're trying to sell them or present the opportunity or products to them. It creates a massive amount of pressure on you. It makes it awkward, it makes them feel resistance. Very different from connector role, where you don't have to be the expert. You're not selling them. You're simply asking who they might know who would be a perfect fit for this, and asking them to do a favor in terms of looking at the video to see if they might be able to help put you in touch with somebody that would be perfect for this opportunity. Somebody who may have been crushed by the pandemic, maybe their business income stopped, or maybe somebody who is younger, like a millennial that might come to mind in the family, or something, who is really on top of stuff. They're really bright, brilliant, maybe entrepreneurial. But they're looking at their prospects in the world today, and they're feeling like they need to take more control, and they're more open to opportunity. It's very, very simple, guys, because you're taking the pressure off of you to be the expert, to answer their questions. You're not selling them, so the resistance on their end goes away, because they can tell you're not selling them. That's not what it's about anymore. You're just asking for their help to see if they know anybody. Guys, this is what the wealthiest people in the world do in every industry. In politics, regardless what we think of that industry, in business, in every niche and field, the most successful people that are tapped into abundance and in flow The most successful people are in the role of connector. In fact, we used to have a term, some of you will remember this, back in, it was back in the 80s, and then I was introduced to this term in the 90s when I was part of a startup internet company. And this is very early on in my career. I often mention to you guys that I got my start in network marketing and I had some success. And then I leave this part out when I worked for this internet company because it was just a like 1 month period. And I share how I went on to build my own internet systems. Well, there's this brief little moment where I left network marketing for a month. I still had my residual income. And I literally told them they were going to pay me $5,000 plus commissions. I literally told them, don't pay me because I don't want to feel obligated to keep this position. And I was able to say that, not to pay me when I took that position, because I had residual income from network marketing. I was in my later 20s before I built my first internet marketing system and went back to network marketing. But anyway, I took the job for 30 days. It was a startup company, and I refused to take any payment for the first 30 days because I told them after those 30 days, if I want to quit, I don't want to feel bad about it. And they agreed to that. And I did quit, and I didn't take the money. And I went back to network marketing and built the system that you often hear me reference. Nonetheless, during that 30 days, I got a little bit of an inside look into, the startup world and their language. And one of the things that interested me was I met a guy who was called a rainmaker. He had tens of millions, super successful. He would be the guy that would come in and he would hook you up with a financer, or if you had product, he could help you find a product developer to help you find the packaging and everything, or the labeling or the branding, but he wouldn't do any of that himself. He didn't do anything but just connect you. If you needed a merchant account, one call and you got he'd help you, hook you up with somebody and get you the merchant account. If you wanted to put a company together, he could hook you up with the product development and the manufacturer and the warehouser. And then he'd be gone and you'd get $1 million for working for, a couple hours. And I always thought, what the heck is that skill? That impressed me when I met a rainmaker. And I was like, what's a rainmaker? And the CEO of our company explained what he did and everything. And I met this guy and I was thought, like, he hardly works at all. He has this amazing lifestyle. And he gets so much money for just bringing people together and connecting people. What's his skill? What's he doing? He's connecting. And he was totally operating out of abundance, out of flow. Everything was easy. He was having a blast, making things happen. And I realized when I was working with Robert, and I explained this to him, that's exactly what Robert does. And it's what he's teaching people to do, how to tap into the flow and the ease of simply being a connector. And what's cool here is we already have the company that's brought everything together, the product development, and continues to invest into it, the distribution, the warehousing, the manufacturing, etc. Like, that's already there. So all we're doing is connecting with people of influence, people with a little bit of an entrepreneurial streak, even those that may not have known they had it. People who have worked really hard as professionals who are being massively underpaid for their skills and for their confidence and for the vibration they function on, which is much higher than where they're operating and who they have to work with right now. We're simply connecting this company, its vision, to people like that. Success-minded people, people looking for opportunity, entrepreneurial people, people looking at their prospects, maybe younger people looking at their prospects who don't like what's in front of them, who don't like feeling insecure, small business owners who don't like the fact that their income can just be shut down when there's a pandemic, et cetera, et cetera. There's this huge market of people now that are a perfect fit for helping us expand this company. And we're going to be paid a ton of money by simply connecting them to the company. But you need to remove your ego from it. You need to remove your feeling that you need to explain everything and know everything and be the expert, and leverage me and Robert Hollis and the videos and everything else that's already here. And you're just like, I'm not the expert. I'm just excited about this company. But I could hook you up with somebody who is the expert. Would you mind just watching the video real quick from our CEO and let me know if anybody comes to mind? And then they might watch it and go, I come to mind. I'm kind of curious about this. How does this work? Or they might say, I know somebody who built a big organization 5 years ago in a company. They changed the compensation plan and he dropped out, but he might be interested. Or they might end up saying, I've heard about CBD. I'm curious. How's that? And they might end up buying the CBD. When you take the role of connector, their guard comes down. They're interested in helping. You're immediately teaching them how to be a connector. You remove the sales from it. You remove the need for you being the expert. You remove the time that it usually takes and all the overthinking and planning that people do. It is absolutely brilliant. And what I'm saying to you guys is, you've got the company, and it is a doozy, with an amazing CEO who's doing amazing things to prove, if you're paying any attention at all, where this is going. You've got a great product. You've got a fantastic compensation plan. You've got the whole thing. You've got upline who are very successful, including Robert Hollis, because of the timing of his career, is at his peak of being able to support and help people get to an income really quickly, who's available to you, that you can put your best prospects, or even prospects just showing a good sign of knowing other good contacts, put in touch with him. You have me to help you with that process. I'm saying seize the day. It is a unique combination of resources at your fingertips. I'm saying just get into the mode of connector. If you want to just break records and shatter limitations and let the barriers just fall down and flow with it and have a blast and start laughing more while you're doing it and having a good time, take the role of connector. Do whatever you need to stay there as much as you can. You might find yourself prospecting a little. You might find yourself marketing with some leads coming in. Then move it into connector mode as fast as you can. And start thinking of 8s, 9s, and 10s you can reach out to. But don't prospect and sell them. Ask them, hey, who might you know? Would you mind watching a video of our CEO? I'm expanding this company. I'm really excited about it. I'm still new to it, so I can't answer all the tough questions, but I'm excited about what they've accomplished. They've already paid 12 people $1 million yearly in the last couple of years, and they're new, so it's expanding wildly. Do you know anybody that might be entrepreneurially minded? Do you know anybody who might be struggling from the pandemic, that maybe their business got shut down from it? Do you know any millennials maybe that are looking at their prospects and they want to take more control of their life and have more freedom? You know anybody who's retired that, you know, they're just always in a good mood, they're always positive and have kind of a success mindset? Would you mind watching a video from our CEO just for a couple minutes and see if anyone comes to mind? Don't sell them. Connect people to Josh on that video. Connect people to me in a Facebook chat. Connect people to Robert Hollis and teach them how to connect. That's the secret to really, really, really fast success. Okay, can you tell I'm pumped up? Robert Hollis and I are just having a kick working together. I told them, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. You know, and I said, you know, I've made 7 and 8 figures in online marketing, but I've never made it residually like he knows how to do. And so I'm just like a sponge. And like he said today, he goes, I know you've been studying me like a hawk. And I said, I sure have. And I just repeated back to him, you know, what I just shared with you guys. And he absolutely loved it. It's a phenomenal way to put into words exactly the difference between how people build, and how the connector role is phenomenally so much higher leveraging and so much more fun and so much easier, not just for you to get to income, but for other people to get income. And he was just saying he just loves working with me as much as I do him, because we're just dashing towards these high level positions in the company and want to take as many people as we can with us. And we're just on the same playing field. I'm just inviting you into that, guys. It's so friggin' fun. I can't even begin to say how fun it can be. And you start to just have, when you get in this mode and you understand the connector role, people come out of the woodwork. People start bringing you people that are professionals, that are just sick of their job, that are highly skilled but underpaid, who are working 80 hours a week. People start bringing you people who have all these amazing connections, like doctors that have all these clinics, and they can just put product in the clinics and just connect them to Robert, and he'll show them how to get the products in there and do what the doctor in Florida that he hooked up does to make an extra $100,000 a month profit. Like, all of a sudden, all these people start coming out of the woodwork to you. When you let go of you having to be the expert, when you let go of all the complexities, when which I know I introduced you guys to a lot of the complexities, because I'm a marketer. It only made sense. And I'm not saying to remove all of that. I still do marketing, but as little as possible. It just complements now the connector role, because connector role is easy. Connector role is fast. Connector role is fun. You might still do prospecting. I don't know if Joe Anderson's on this call. Joe has introduced me to 2 amazing people recently, and he found them through cold calling MLM leads. Now, I'm not going to teach people to cold call MLM leads because it's not very duplicatable, but I'm also not going to tell Joe Anderson to stop doing it, because he just brought me 2 fantastic people who are ready to jump into the connector role that are highly capable of making magic happen. So you can still do the prospecting. You can still do the marketing like I am, but immediately shift into connector role if that's what you're going to do. And many of you can just bypass the marketing and prospecting entirely and go right into connector role. All right, guys, let's open this up to questions. Go ahead and just unmute. I think this is a webinar, so I have to allow you to talk. So go ahead and raise your hand if you want to talk. And start practicing connecting. Go ahead and raise your hand and connect with me and to the group. Like, start to find the fun and the joy of just connecting. I see Rich's hand come up. Go ahead, Rich. Rich Albright, how you doing?
Doing good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Hey, so when we are connecting to you guys, like, how do we actually do that?
Great question. That's good. I know I need to do more communicating the protocols. So, okay, so how do I explain this? So it's actually really, really simple. You'll need to be Facebook friends with me. So Rich, are we Facebook friends?
No, you haven't. You didn't accept my request, and then I deleted it. So I'll ask you again.
Can you go online right now and do it now?
Yep, I'm on there right now.
Okay, go ahead and send the friend request right now, and I'll go there and accept it.
Okay, it's sent.
Okay, let's see here if I can find you. Okay, I found it. And that goes for all of you. If you've sent me a friend request in the past and I haven't accepted it yet, let me know. Now, obviously, those of you who are not in my downline, I can't be meeting with you in Zooms and introducing you to Robert Hollis. You're going to want to just duplicate all of this with your upline. You just start calling upline. If you're not in my downline, start calling upline and go up, 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 up until you find the person who understands what in the heck we're talking about. And you're saying, hey, I want to be able to connect people to you. I want to be able to introduce people to you. What's the best way for me to do that? Those of you who are in my downline anywhere, obviously that's what my role is with you. Okay, 1 second here. 1 second. Okay, Rich, I got you. So we need to be friends on Facebook. And then what you do is you send me a group message. I'm going to show you guys right now. Can you see my screen, Rich?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to go to Messenger. And you need to open it up so it's taking up the whole screen. At first, I would do this in from your laptop.
Okay.
And you guys are going to see, like, I have all these messages over here. This is like all the connecting going on. And as you do this, there's become higher and higher quality connections. It's really an amazing system using Facebook Messenger to do this. And that will become more clear as we go. But the first simple step is you hit this little icon right here where it shows the notepad and the pencil. And then you would enter in my name. I can't enter in my name because I won't come up. So I'll enter in Robert Hollis. You enter in my name, and then you would enter in the name of the person you want to introduce me to. Let's say it's Nina. And then, well, let me do a different person because there's already text in there. Let me do someone brand new. Who would it be? I'll do you, Rich. Rich. Obviously, you'd be typing in different people. You'd be typing in my name and the person you're introducing me to, and then this is blank because we haven't communicated before as a group. You with me so far, Rich?
Yep, yep.
And then you come down here to where it says type a message. And you'd basically say this. And guys, go ahead and write this down. I am recording this. And if you want to make a note, we're at about the 45-minute mark. So if you want to fast forward to the replay, you would fast forward to the 45-minute mark. You want to make a note of that if you can't type this down right now. But you would basically say, it's really simple. You would say, hi Mike, I wanted to introduce you to, and if they're your friend, you'd say friend. If there's someone you just met, you would say to someone I just met, who has a lot of potential, whatever the reality is. If you want to keep it really simple, you could just say, to Rich, whoever the person is you want to introduce me to, and then you tell me a sentence or two about Rich. So tell me a sentence or two about Rich. Maybe he's someone who just signed up at Executive Pro. Let me know. Or maybe he's someone who hasn't signed up yet, who, someone referred you to and you briefly know, but he looked at the videos and he said he had some questions. You said, I'm not the expert, but I'd like to put you in touch with someone who is. And then you would say, can I send you a friend request on Facebook? And then I could give you a quick introduction. We could set up a Zoom. And if that was the case, you'd tell me a sentence or two about Rich. And if that was the case, you'd say, I just met Rich through so-and-so, and he had some questions after watching the video. You just give me a sentence or two to give me an idea what's going on. And then you'd say, Rich, Mike is Mike Klingler is one of the top earners in the company, or is very successful with the company, and can answer your questions. And he could also put you in touch with Robert Hollis, who's quite successful with the company. That's it. Then back up and let me take it from there. And what I would do is I would send an audio recording. That would basically be something like, "Hi, Rich." It would be an audio message here that I do right here. Hi, Rich. Great to meet you. Thanks for introducing me. I'd love to set up a time to connect and answer any questions you have. I have some openings tomorrow between 3 and 5. Let me know if that works. If not, how about next week? I take it from there. It works like a charm. It's absolutely amazing. It's so much better than three-way calls for those that used to do that, because three-way calls, if I don't answer and you get voicemail, it's like really awkward. But here, if you guys send this to me at 3 in the morning, my time, I wake up, and when I'm ready to see it, I'm able to respond. And otherwise it just kind of sits there. And then they respond maybe even a couple days later. It's absolutely beautiful and works really well. Rich, you have any questions about that? Please do ask if any questions came up as I ran through that.
No, I think that's perfect. Thank you.
It works really well. And you're going to see, like, for example, check this out. Here's me doing that with Robert Hollis. In fact, I sent it to him. And this is with you, Joni, if Joni's here. Joni's an example of someone who's highly capable, a professional who is used to a high income as a professional and a lot of responsibilities, but she has to work her tail off. And she loves it, but it starts to become a grind, and she sees the vision and everything and has amazing skills. And this is, if she steps into connector role here, this is going to reward her, tremendously. And so I wanted to introduce Robert to Joni, just like you guys would introduce people to me. And then I could introduce people to Robert. And a lot of times, guys, if you start to really get busy, and all of you could get absolutely busy at this using either Aaron Parker's free method on Facebook, if you have no connections, or doing something creative like Joe Anderson's doing and cold calling MLM leads. I'm not going to teach that because it's not duplicatable, but whatever you want to do to connect with people. And again, Aaron Parker's got the really easy method on Facebook. Of course, we have my marketing methods that can be supplemental. And then, of course, going after 8s, 9s, and 10s yourself, or applying what Robert Hollis is teaching. You just get busy in connector mode, not have to be the expert, keep it super simple. You could put me and Robert to work. I would take people to Robert that you bring to me. And in many cases, I'll introduce you to Robert, and you'll even be able to bring people straight to Robert. Robert wants to get me to 500K affiliate immediately. And to do that, he needs to help, and I need to help you guys get to income immediately. So those who put us to work most will be the ones who get our help to do that the fastest. And it is so simple if you move into connector role. And just to show you how this sounds, I literally keep it this simple. Hi, Robert, wanted to introduce you to Joni Vincent. Like, that's how simple mine is. I don't even say anything about it, but that's because I would do a separate audio message, saying, hi, Robert, I've been working with Joni, and I'm working with Joni, here's what we're doing. One way or another, it's nice for me to know a word or two. But you could literally keep it that simple. I would encourage you to elaborate a little bit like I did. It's just I've been working with Joni for a while, so that wasn't necessary. If it was someone I just met, I would elaborate a little bit on who Joni is and edify her and Robert a little bit. But you're gonna hear, I won't play the whole thing, but just for you guys to get the idea of this.
Good evening there again, Robert. Hope your day is going fantastic. I am sure that it is. I wanted to introduce you to Joni Vincent. She's been on the team for some time. She's been working 80 plus hours a week and more.
So I'm basically using an audio message to, elaborate. And if you guys are comfortable doing an audio message, you can. If you're not, just do it with text. But I'm basically just doing in the audio message what I was saying for you to do in terms of explaining in a sentence or two, Joni's situation, and explaining to Joni in a sentence or two who Robert is. And then here's Robert responding, who likes to also use audio message. I find using audio message as much as possible in here brings further connection, which is really what it's all about. But I don't always use it. So it's up to you. If you're not ready to use audio, don't. But when you finally, if you feel comfortable doing it, do it, because it does bring connection, and it's fun, and it brings it to life. So it's that simple. I've been doing this all day, and it's creating such a surge of growth. It is creating such a surge of fun and excitement with everyone I'm doing this with. It really does all come down to connection. Rich, great question. Anything else? Anything you want to ask about?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, awesome, man. Great question. I'm glad you asked it. Let's go to Tony Pete. I introduced Tony to Robert, I think it was yesterday, because Tony has a lot of amazing contacts, 8, 9s, and 10s, and maybe even some 11s, and needed some input from Robert about how to approach them, because they're already very successful in another company. And so I introduced Tony to Robert, and we had a powwow. Robert is available to us, guys. It's absolutely amazing. Take advantage of it. Tony, go ahead. I went ahead and unmuted you. I guess you got to still unmute yourself. Are you out there, Tony?
Can you hear me, Mike?
Yeah. How you doing?
Doing super.
Wasn't that fun? I just want to throw that. Wasn't it fun connecting with Robert? I mean, isn't it like bring the whole thing to life?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And the big thing with you and Robert, you both have servant leadership, and all of our upline has servant leadership, and we need to use them, or we're going to lose them, because they're going to get so far ahead of us. But that's not going to happen with me personally. And one of the things that I liked with talking to you, Mike, and to Robert, was that you're both down to earth and you're real. Very, very relatable. So it was very easy for me to connect with both of you.
Yeah, it was a great discussion. And anyway, go ahead with your question. I absolutely agree with you 100%. It feels so natural, and I look to Robert and thank him for that. For you talk about servant leadership, like he's so down to earth. It makes it so fun. If we didn't have that, I don't know that I would be doing this, but because we do, like, let's use it. It makes it so fun and so easy, and there's nothing awkward about it when you introduce them to people. And I appreciate you saying that you feel the same from me. That's important, I think. And yeah, I just like being myself. I mean, I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe in the products and the company and the vision. Once I have that, I'm just going to be myself and look for who this is right for. But I appreciate you saying that.
Well, and I think it's just to reiterate what you've talked about, doing the Zooms for everybody. I think that's going to help accelerate all of our growth as we really get familiar and feel real comfortable with connecting with everyone. That's
right. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I just want to add one thing, and I'm curious what you think about this, Tony. I think one of the reasons why Aaron Parker has done so well, he got to 500K affiliate. He's now a 7-figure earner as well, and he did it all through the free Facebook Messenger strategy. I think one of the reasons why that's so effective is that when you do the Messenger strategy, every one of your prospects is on Facebook. As opposed to, let's say if we do solo ads and you get a lead coming in through solo ads, a lot of you were telling me, and I was finding this myself, it's kind of hard to find them on Facebook. And so the lead is much less valuable because you can't fit them into a duplicatable process from there very easily. So all we have to rely upon is email follow-up. And again, if you drive enough traffic like I did and spend enough, it still works, but it's not duplicatable to encourage people to spend that much. So I think one of the biggest reasons why Robert's done so well and why Aaron Parker has done so well and why I'm seeing a surge of not just more fun, but of growth in just these last 10 days of doing this is because all of the leads that are starting to bubble forward are on Facebook. If you're using Facebook Messenger, as a predominant networking tool. And so anyone that wants to use Aaron Parker's free method, just remember, it's more than just what meets the eye that makes it successful. you've got an unlimited amount of prospects there, and that's cool. And you've got to do some grunt work initially to reach out to them. But just remember, the leverage starts to build. Number one leverage is when you post on Facebook, because you were sending them messages, Facebook now shows them your posts. Number two leverage that we never talked about before is that now they're all there. So when it's time, when a prospect has questions, you can immediately do a Facebook group chat. So if you stick with it long enough, pretty soon you're in momentum. Everyone's duplicating the same process. Everyone's on Facebook. It just works so well, as opposed to if you're generating the leads outside of Facebook. There's a bit of a disconnect there with when someone has, when you want to reach out and introduce them or connect with them, they're not on Facebook. So just keep that in mind. That's another advantage of using Facebook. Tony, any thoughts about that? I've kind of figured out that's what it also has made Aaron Parker so successful, is he was using this same messenger strategy.
Well, it's interesting because I've been using that for about a month. And today I've gotten 300 people that want to connect with me just because they've been following my posts.
You get into momentum really fast.
Yes, absolutely.
And now your next level is turning it into them, connecting people to you, right? That's the next step.
Right.
And then you don't need to buy leads anymore. You're just connecting with great people all day long. It's really
right. Exactly.
And you're just sifting for your favorite ones and connecting them to me, and I'm connecting them to Robert, or you might even connect one directly to Robert. It's absolutely beautiful.
And it's very duplicatable for everybody.
Very duplicatable.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for chiming in. All right, let's go to George. George, I introduced to Robert just today, and we had a fantastic conversation.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, you out there, George?
Yeah, I won't take long, but I just wanted to validate exactly what you're saying and what you're talking about. I'm just stunned at where this thing really is. And as you were describing the unique opportunity in a lifetime, and people hear that all the time on TV, and you got to come today or you're going to miss it. But truly, I want to learn how to better couch that message that you just said, because people need to understand that we're not chasing them or pursuing them. We're connecting them to something that's just not going to be found again after this little time frame, this window. And
that's right.
As you were talking, I envisioned the Tesla guy and the rocket ship that he just launched. And I think Josh and Jenna have built the rocket ship, and Robert's figured out how to fuel it. And all we got to know is how to take the hose and put it in the machine and get out of the way.
Right.
I have to know how the rocket ship works. I don't know how to build the rocket ship. I don't know how to pay bills or make the product. I just need to learn to get the fuel guy over to the truck and stick it in the rocket ship and go find another one.
And George, that's a perfect metaphor.
And that's so simple. And
for those that
watch that rocket ship that they launched, and we're doing exactly the same thing.
Exactly right.
And we're going past the moon.
Metaphor.
We're going past the moon.
It's a great metaphor.
I'm going to get a big picture of that ship and hang it on the wall and say, that's what we do. And we don't have to build it. It's already done. So anyway, I appreciate it. You're dead on. And I like the way you presented it a while ago. I can see why Robert liked it. And just thank you again, because I don't have to wear Robert out being connected with him. Just the fact that I can now say, as you've always said, say Mike and Robert or whatever, but I honestly can say I'm working with these two great guys, and I can connect you to them, and I can take that message to 10s and 12s and anybody.
That's right.
And not feel like I need to back off.
And to know that if they ask you a question you can't answer, you just get to say, it's a great question. Let me connect you with my business partners. They can answer that.
Exactly. Absolutely. So thank you very much. You're on the right. You're beyond the right track. I mean, this is the process.
This is it.
There's nothing that can stop it.
No.
Right now, I've got about 500 or 600 leads that I've paid for, and I'm almost seeing them now as a nuisance because a great guy that signed up as a free guy, and we talked about that, and I went to him last night, and he was really excited, and he said, call me at 11 o'clock at night, and I did, and he wasn't there, and I'm thinking, to heck with that. I mean, I'm looking for guys that, next, get onto the guys that see this opportunity, and if they don't have enthusiasm, I don't want to be generating it for them. I want them.
That's right. That's right. Now, with with that said, I'm still connecting with some people at that level, but it also feels like a nuisance often with me. And I you know, I'm doing it because I want to make sure that I'm in touch with a process that people who don't have the confidence yet to reach out to 8s, 9s, or 10s can begin initiating a process to lead them to 8, 9s, and 10s. And so I'm still doing it here and there, but you're right. The dynamics change because, and they talk about posturing, right? You've heard the term posturing. Posturing when it's real is powerful. And so,
well, what this has done is that I will continue to connect with these because I believe that that's another way to do it. Keep bringing in those leads because you showed us how to do that. But I'm going to be, excited. I'm going to be generous, but I'm not going to dilly dally. I'm going to say, I'm calling a lot of these people, the ones that I have numbers, and that's working. But I've got a different message. I'm sitting here writing it out as we talk. I'm going to call them and say,
yeah,
the rocket ship's leaving. Be
Yeah.
going on it because it's
that's
going.
exactly it,
And
right?
if not,
So
that's okay. Call me
your
if you do.
language, that when you move into connector role and you really get in touch with what we're doing and you're not going to dilly dally, your language changes, and you're right on it, George. So,
Yeah.
and the point will come where you won't have time to connect with them anymore at all. While you do have time, you can always reach out, but yeah, it's a different language, it's a different speed, and you end up kind of getting people who are capable of rising to rise much faster when you're in that zone.
Well, and one last thing, I heard this today, and when you were just making your speech, it's a method that by default I've used my whole life and didn't even realize it. But one of the phrases that Robert uses a lot is would you do me a favor? That's how when he starts off this whole thing, and I've been working that into what I've been doing. And people, in the construction world, I found I could solve. I rose up in the construction world because I became the connector in several companies, and I did that by calling people that had the piece that I needed to finish the big commercial job. And I would just say, can you do me a favor? If that was the girl at the front desk or the owner of the company, and people want to do that.
Yeah.
He'll do you a favor. And that's one of his little tricks of how he gets through the door. And he was doing that when he was standing on the street when he first started years ago, walking up to people and introduce himself and say, hey, could you do me a favor?
And it's real. It's
I created
genuine.
this company and I'm building it, and I'm having a hard time finding people. And I thought maybe you could watch this. And in that case, they had to go have a meeting. Now we just go to the videos by Josh. Can you do me a favor and watch those? I bet before you get to the end, you're gonna think of somebody that really could use this. Would you do that? And the guy says, sure.
Absolutely.
It takes the pressure off of them completely.
Takes the pressure totally. When you can just let go, guys, and just get into that mode.
It's amazing. It's
just, and then now they're interested, and now who do they know? And you just keep doing that, and pretty soon you've got all these people, and it's leading you to the right people. You come across someone like me, and I'm like, man, I was just diagnosed with a tumor. Someone suggested CBD. Let me pick some up. Oh my God, this just helped me tremendously. I'm a marketer, by the way. Let me see what's going on. And then bam, I put 50K volume in your business in the first month. Guys, you don't need to try. You don't need to work so hard. You become a connector, and you will automatically suddenly have a number of people who are very capable raising their hand and just making it obvious that this is right for them.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome, George. Really appreciate you chiming in. That's great. And enjoyed our discussion as well. It's just absolutely a blast. Let me go to Aaron. Aaron Chappell, you out there?
I am. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Hey, Aaron. Good. How you doing?
Very good. Very good. So, one of my, during this 90-day blitz, if you will, one of the things I'm focusing on building as a skill is, leveraging Facebook in addition to the lead source that you're working with us on. And I just had an idea, sometimes being there kind of by yourself, on Facebook, I have heard about other people doing like what they call power hours, where like maybe we just had like a Zoom that was an hour a couple times a week where a bunch of us, could just get on and kind of be working our messengers and maybe helping each other out, giving itself ideas, and then maybe
cool
having
idea.
you guys on standby. Just a thought. I mean,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's like a party hour. Let's go hit Messenger and kind of do that. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's a great idea. I wonder if like you could do I don't know if it would be a watch party, if it would be a Zoom. You could do a Zoom together, right, and just be doing it on Zoom and talk.
Yeah. We could all have our cameras on, and then if we say, hey,
totally.
I got this person. What do you think would be a good thing to say? Or we can kind of just share different approaches, so that way someone's there if we have a question, and if we want to do that third-party validation, or have you instantly do that, I mean, we could blow that up.
Yeah, I'll kick one of those off. I'll need to try to find the right day to do it, but I love
Sure.
that. I'll kick one of those off, and you guys can do those too. That's a fantastic
Yeah.
idea.
Cool. Great.
Okay, really good. Great idea. Love it.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? Anything at all, guys? I'm just having a blast. As soon as I drop off here, oh, I see Charles. Let me unmute Charles. You out there, Charles? Maybe I need to.
Now I'm unmuted. Can you
All
hear
right.
me?
Awesome. How you doing?
Doing fine, Mike. Doing
Really
fine.
good.
Got a question about where to get connections. I am a super connector on LinkedIn. I got 2,700 people, a lot of CEOs, a lot of business managers. How do I utilize that? I mean, it's a different format. You usually don't sell on LinkedIn. So since this is not selling, it's asking for a favor. What can you tell me?
So do you have any relationship with them at all, or you just kind of cross paths somewhere but don't know each other in any way, shape, or form?
There's probably at least 250, 300 that I actually did business with, and they weren't just part of the company I did business with. It was 35 years of being a sales engineer, and these are the connections that I had, and the others are connections of theirs.
By the way, did I refer you to My Daily Choice or someone else?
You did?
Oh, okay, awesome. So are we connected on Facebook?
No, I put in a request, but not yet.
Okay, guys, before we go, everybody, wait, it's not what I want to do. Hold on. Give me a second, Charles. I'm going to find you. And anyone else that's in my downline. So there's a lot of Charles Clarks.
Okay, I sent you a Facebook Messenger asking to connect. Maybe that would help.
When did you send that?
Today, when we were on this webinar, because you said
okay,
that.
Perfect. Let me go open that up again and see if I can find you there.
That might be easier.
For some reason, I'm not seeing it. Oh, because we're not friends yet. So just so you guys know, if we're not friends, that's the problem. I don't even know where you go to see those messages. Oh, here it is. I almost never see those. It's another place. And okay, yeah, awesome. Okay, 1 second.
And I forget that it's Charlie Clark, so that was hard to look up too.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I always, when I see the name on the avatar here, and that's what I go by. But keep reminding me till I get it. I see it. You got Charlie on the Facebook, so I'll remember you. I'll remember the proper pronunciation there. Okay, so we're friends at Facebook. Go ahead and send me another message, and this time it'll show up in my friends Facebook Messenger. Send me another message reminding me you've got a bunch of LinkedIn contacts. Remind me that about 250 of them you do know, and just say that I had suggested that we connect separately from tonight's call. And I'd like to introduce you to Robert Hollis as well, and we'll put a plan together.
Okay. One of the ways that I'm a super connector is that I have connected with these people saying, my whole mission is to make sure that I share the skills that I have with other people so they can get jobs, because it's tough to find them. Please tell me, people, and I'll see what I can do to connect them to my network so they can get jobs. So a lot of these people are willing to connect just because they want to help in that kind of fashion also.
I mean,
so we'll talk later on,
that's awesome. I don't know if it's direct enough to really tap into what we're talking about. I mean, again, if you could just start to approach it with, hey, I'm expanding a company that I'm really excited about, with we're looking for some really good people. The company's paid over 12 people over $1 million who are part of this expansion, and thousands of people have made income. And I know it's a big issue right now. So if you know, or if you could just help me out and watch a quick video really quick that would, from our CEO, give you a quick idea what it's about. Within a few minutes, maybe somebody will come to mind. Again, we'll find the perfect language for your situation, but we want to get really direct at them, knowing you're part of expanding a company rather than just looking for jobbers. It's a different energy. It taps you into a different kind of network and mindset. But we'll meet with Robert Hollis as well. I'll meet with you privately, just us, and then we'll meet with Robert Hollis. We'll put together a really clear plan that totally makes sense to you and just flows. And I don't think it's going to take long at all once you step into that role.
Very good. So I can use LinkedIn, and that's amazing. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No question about it. It's all about connecting. So if you guys already have networks, and that's what that is, you want to go there. So really good, Charlie. I'll look for your, send me another message as a reminder, and either tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll reach back out to you and we'll get this going.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike.
All right, talk to you soon. 1 second, guys. Hey there, Manny. How you doing, man?
I'm here. Thank you. How you doing?
Going good. What's the news?
Well, I'm very happy I'm on this because I rarely ever get down, and I was a little down today, and a lot of things I heard here picked me right back up.
Oh, good.
But, I got a few questions. First of all, yeah, I was actually pretty bummed today. The person I connected you with, he was so excited. He more excited than I heard him in a long time, and everything.
Do you mean Alan?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. We had been talking since that time you and I talked, I and him talked, and we were talking sometimes till 2 or 3 in the morning about people that we were going to talk to, and I was sending him everything that I was sending other people. I was trying to hook him up as much as I could, sending him videos, sending him to training, sending him to whatever, and we were talking, and we just kept talking and figuring out what we were going to do, and he was talking about he's going to take this thing and run with it harder than he's run with anything. And I hadn't heard from him now about 7 days, and it's just really strange. So I called corporate today to see if he had been having trouble with the verification process last Thursday. And
wait. What's a verification process?
I guess when you register, they want some kind of validation, or maybe they needed some kind of ID, and he was having trouble with it, and then it went through, but a day later. So I told him that he didn't get approved till like a day later, which was Friday, so that he would probably be upgraded the following week. So this Thursday came and went, and I called today corporate office, and he's still a pre-enrollee, and he's not returning my calls. So I was like really bummed out because like.
Okay, so Manny and everyone listen carefully. Your success is not dependent on any one individual.
Correct.
And Manny, it's definitely not dependent on Alan.
No, I understand that 100%. It's just that we were already networking and we were already doing so much, and then just fell off the face of the earth.
When you, Manny and everybody else, when you tap into what I'm talking about, when you fully get what it means to be a connector, you'll have so many Allens, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Right.
That when you are putting all of your chips on one person or two people, what they do or don't do, it's because you haven't fully embraced what we're talking about yet, which it's okay. But once you do, which can happen very quick, this becomes so easy. You have so many people who are interested. You're expanding a company. You're really excited about it. It did 170 million last year. You're looking for some really good people to help you with expansion. They paid 12 people over $1 million in just the first couple of years since launching. And there's been thousands of people that have made great incomes. And during this time of the pandemic, there's more people that you know that are open to opportunity than ever before. Would you mind, you're talking to somebody, would you mind doing me a favor and just take a quick look at the video from the CEO? And with the first couple of minutes, someone might come to mind that you know who needs this opportunity, who can help us with expansion, that you could put me in touch with.
That video from the CEO, that is the lock in my spot video number one.
Yeah, would they say, sure, I'll take a look. You're sending them to enter their email, and you tell them to watch the first video, and then you follow up and ask them, did anyone come to mind? Thanks for doing that. And you do this enough. You use Aaron Parker's strategy. And again, Aaron Parker's strategy, you can either do exactly what Aaron's teaching, word for word, which is a little different, to initiate the process and at some point transfer over to this, or you can do how I showed it for those of you who watch my videos, and I'll do more showing my version of Aaron Parker's strategy. You don't immediately approach people that you don't know with this. You're approaching people that you know with this, or you're approaching people who maybe you've reached out to Aaron Parker's strategy, who responded back, and then you found out maybe they're open, and you'll say, hey, would you do me a favor, since you've been in the industry, or you've been entrepreneurially minded, would you be willing to take a look at this video from our CEO and tell me if anyone comes to mind? I can continue to work with you guys on this language, but this is what you should be thinking about, not what Alan does or doesn't do, or if his order goes through. Like, you should just be thinking, you should just be only thinking about how to master this language, the simplicity of it, and get away from overthinking, over planning, worrying about what someone else is going to do or not do. Just focus on the simplicity, just the true simplicity of just connecting people to this company and asking those you talk to, not for them to look at it, not for them to buy the product or consider the opportunity, but who they might know. And would they be willing to take a look at a video real quick, just watch it for a couple of minutes to see if someone will come to mind. And again, there's some language there you want to get used to, and I will continue to work with you guys on this language. It sounds something like, it continues with something like, because John, I know, again, it kind of depends on their situation, right? If there's someone that was successful in network marketing before, but they've given up on it, instead of prospecting them, you're saying, because John, I know you were in the industry before, you had some success, and I heard that they changed the comp plan or whatever. So I just wanted to see, because you were in the industry, if you take a quick look at the video from our CEO, and just in a couple of minutes, maybe somebody will come to mind that you worked with in the past, or who's been hit really hard by the pandemic, or who's entrepreneurially minded that might come to mind that you could refer me to, because I'm really excited about this, and I thought you might be able to put me in touch with somebody. Like, people are really prone to want to help out like that. And obviously, when you approach it that way, many of them that this is right for are going to start asking questions themselves. So again, Manny, what I really, really encourage you to do, just go to bed thinking about, practicing this language and realizing and getting into the mindset of how simple this can be when you start taking the role of connector. And what does that language sound like? Think of different people that who are successful. Think of Alan and how you would have approached him that way instead of the way that you did. We approached him as someone we were prospecting him. Instead, what if we had approached him, not selling him, but told him to take a look at the video from the CEO and who he might know? How many referrals would you be working already who would be even more in action than Alan, that he would have referred you to and referred you, that you'd be putting me in touch with and Robert Hollis in touch with right now? One of them's going to sign up, and then we'd go up the chain and come to Alan and say, hey, someone you referred us to signing up at Executive Pro, he's a big fish. You might, he'll know who he is because he referred him to us, or somebody he knows referred him to us, and he's going to come in and he's going to make sure he comes in. You understand what I'm saying? It's a completely different ball game.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying, and that's what I was thinking already. But you just reiterated it for me, which is fine.
So don't try to reach out to Alan anymore. I'll send him a message. Forget about him.
Perfect.
This becomes, guys, it's Disneyland out there, meaning it's fun, and it's easy. It's really easy when you move into this role. You have an amazing company here. That's a fact. Amazing CEO doing amazing things. That's a fact. The product's helped a lot of people. It sure the heck helped me, and I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people it's helped. It's a great company. Robert Hollis has been in the industry. If you guys hung around him much, he's very transparent. Like, he said a lot of things that usually people wouldn't say because he's very honest and open. And so when he's giddy about how much more he gets paid here than other companies been with, we know the compensation plan's amazing. We don't need to know the details. It's obvious. So, it's obvious the company's amazing. Okay, we've got that. Be excited about that. Let the fun of that just bubble within you. It's a fact. Wow, cool. We found a really rare company. And then now you have access to a millionaire, Robert Hollis. And you have access to me, who's made millions in online marketing, and not yet here, but already at 6 figures. I obviously know the business. You have access to us directly. You don't have to pay for consulting or anything. Think about how cool that is in itself. And now realize you do not need to be an expert. You do not need to study anymore. All you have to do is connect. The question is just, how do you do that? And if you need help on the language, listen to the replay of this again, meet with me and let's work it out. Talk to me about, what your contacts are. You're not quite sure how to pose it to them until you get clear. That's your goal. That's your only goal. And once you get that, and Manny and everybody else, you're going to have so many people, really high quality people that are interested, that are sending you people that you're bringing to me, that you'll never worry about what any one individual does or doesn't do. Once you get this into this zone, it is so easy and so fun. It's so funny how hard we make it. I just think of every success book that talks about all of this in general terms and tries to teach this. Like you get into flow. It starts to become so simple. You become highly attractive, and the money just comes in so quickly and in such great abundance that you wonder where it was all those lean years. I'm quoting out of Think and Grow Rich. Like you guys are so close. Like it's so funny. It's like so wild how it works. And I don't think I would have ever gotten it or really fully understood it. I was able to get there through marketing, but I was creating all these barriers for other people to duplicate. And while I was still going to do marketing, as long as we turn that into connecting quickly, going straight to connecting whenever opportunity you have, I am so excited about it. I just encourage you guys, just hone in on that, Manny. Don't think about what Alan does or doesn't do. Think about becoming a connector and having fun with this.
Yeah, it's like I said, I don't get down for very long, and you were able to get me out of it right away.
Right
but you just touched on something. Can I change the subject just a little bit here?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
We were talking about marketing. I was on a call recently, and some gentlemen, you guys were talking about MLGS leads and how they're the lowest rung of the ladder, and that may be so. And I was thinking, well, yeah, but you know what? I'm glad I've been doing them. I'm continuing to doing them, and I've been able to cut my teeth as a so-called marketer, learning the ropes there. And I actually think I'm getting pretty good. I like what I write. It hasn't converted many people, but I'm able to get at least some pre-enrollees.
Yeah, just real quick, I had Jeremy James. I don't know if Jeremy's here, but Jeremy had shared with me yesterday that those have now accumulated so much for him. He's getting like a pre-enrollee every day now because, you know, you keep getting more and more and more. So there's definitely value to those for sure.
Well, I was thinking, you know, maybe they are lowest rung of the ladder, but could it be that our message was completely wrong the whole time? And I started thinking about this. So I started sending out some emails. I'm kind of already thinking like a marketer here, changing my message. And I started doing some really short emails that focus on curiosity. And my numbers have gone up. I haven't really landed that many. Well, I've actually landed a few, but not really all that many. But it started making me think, if we could change the message just a little bit, all of us together as a group, there's got to be people out there with 25,000 or more contacts, and we're able to send out 9,000 a day. So I was thinking maybe we could do something like
Betty, just to be clear, you can send out more than 9,000 a day. You just have to contact their customer support and ask them to, and they'll let you send to your whole list.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that.
Okay. No, I didn't, but that's great.
But you're right. We can test different messages. You know, I've wanted to do more of that. Like, for example, it'd be interesting to test to the MLGS leads. Hey, I'm expanding a company that did 170 million last year. They paid out $12 million over 12 people so far, and over 1,000 people have made good incomes during this time of difficulty for a lot of people. I wanted to run this by you and see if there was anybody you knew. Would you be willing to do me a favor and watch this video real quick from our CEO and see if anyone comes to mind that I might be able to partner with to help make some serious money? You know, honestly, we could be testing all kinds of messaging and hit some home runs at any time. Like I say, I was thinking of Disneyland out there.
I was thinking of a short, quick script leading to a date in the future, maybe a week and a half out, where we do a Zoom call where we're showing people how to sign up and get paid right away. Sign up for free, and we'll walk you through it.
Another fantastic idea. Again, that's marketing, and as long as you're turning it into connecting quickly, I love it. If we're not turning it into connecting, I don't think it will duplicate well. Manny, awesome connecting with you. Forget about Alan. He can come back at any time. I'll send him a message. Focus on connecting. If you're going to do marketing, turning it into connecting. You're going to be shocked at how fast this thing can go, man. It's
Let's explore that last idea, maybe a little further.
Say that again.
Let's explore that last idea, maybe a little bit further.
Which idea? The marketing side?
No, the setting up a call in the future, a Zoom call with MLGS leads.
Well, if you can get in touch with them, I'll meet with them.
Well, okay. I was thinking more in terms of a group, because myself, I can maybe bring in a few, but dozens of people in our group bringing in hundreds and hundreds of people, that could be enormous.
Okay, so I may have misunderstood what you're talking about. Say it really again as succinctly as you can.
I was thinking in terms of us as a group having a date out in the future, maybe a week and a half, where we're inviting people to a webcast, to a Zoom call, where we're showing them how to join for free and get paid right away. And then we'll walk them through it and just show them how to get paid. And we could be
the problem with that is you're not connecting.
right.
You know, so if I had sent, when I connected with Mark and he had referred a pre-enrollee named Sixto, if I had just sent him to a video, he wouldn't have bought the director pack. But because I connected with him real quick and said, okay, go to lockinmyspot.com. Okay, let's go sign you up for free. And then we were scrolling by the products and I said, you sure you wouldn't like to try the products? And I told him there's a money back guarantee and I shared with him all my stories. He goes, you know what? I would like to buy the products. You're cutting that part out when you cut out connecting.
Right.
So I don't think so. I don't think you want to just send people into a video and have a bunch of people go in and sign up for free and then see how they can promote it on Facebook. I think you're cutting the connecting out and then you're duplicating the very heart of what makes it work.
All right. I was thinking in terms of a Zoom call where you can walk people through it. That's okay.
I mean, that could work, but why not just do it one-on-one so they feel more important? Would be my question. I mean, because otherwise Sixto might have just zoomed out, not really registered my question. Are you sure you don't want to buy the products? He wouldn't have been able to pause, have me hear
I
his
see that part. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I see that part.
Yeah, it's really important. You can automate. I'm the master of automation, guys. I brought in over 100 people a month consistently without talking to them. I know automation. That's what you're talking about. You need to move a lot of people through a process. I was spending $3,000 to $5,000 a month for many months in a row to create massive momentum that way. You need to move a lot of people through that process. That's the marketing option. It's not very duplicatable. It can be supplemental. If you want to experiment in the marketing realm, do it, but realize you're taking a huge risk by not just becoming a connector and making this really easy on yourself. Manny, awesome ideas. I'd love to see you follow through on some of it. I'm going to stay as far away from marketing as I can, other than duplicating what I've already done because it worked. I don't think it can get better. It might just be my ego saying that, but I challenge you to see if you can prove me wrong. I'm going to stay in the connector realm and just leverage what I know about marketing already that's already worked and then move into connector realm. But you guys are all welcome to practice different things in the marketing realm. I welcome you to it, but just understand my message is going to be connect, 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 keep it simple, and let's model what Robert Hollis has done because he's already making over $1 million a year. It obviously works. Manny, awesome connecting with you, man. Don't think about Alan. Think about how you're going to become a connector. I'll talk to you soon.
I will. All right.
Orist. Okay, last one. Orist, how you doing? You still out there? Check, check. Asked to unmute. I think I asked you to unmute.
Mute. Okay.
All right. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. Would you do me a favor?
I will.
All right. I'd like to find out how I can get people to listen or watch this quick video from our great CEO when they are not a pre-enrollee, because everything.
Oh, no, you ask them to register. Okay, so you when they say sure, I'll take a look at the video, then you send them to one of the lead capture pages, tell them they enter their email and watch the first video in there, so they'll become a pre-enrollee.
Okay, I just thought maybe there was a way that you could get them that he would be the hook, and therefore
No, the hook is the fact that they're experiencing the system. They're entering their email, and then other pre-enrollees start falling underneath them, and they start asking, who are these people falling underneath me? That's the hook.
Okay, that's really great. And what I'm going to be doing then is you just hit a niche for me. I'm a connector, and I invite people through verbal messages or connect with them on the telephone. But now I miss that link where I want them to sign up as a pre-enrollee. Yes. To get them to listen to Josh.
That's right.
Okay, thanks for that.
And then after you see they become a pre-enrollee, you're like, thanks so much for going in and checking out the video. You know, did anyone come to mind? What do you think? And then you just wait and hear their response. You don't say a bunch of stuff. You are not selling them. Just remember that. You are not selling them.
All right, because one of the questions that I got just today is, okay, what are you getting me into, Orist?
Right. You're saying, I don't know. I didn't know I was getting you into anything, but I'd really appreciate your help.
Yeah.
and taking a look at this and seeing if anyone comes to mind who may be struggling right now because the small businesses have taken a big hit. Maybe someone will come to mind, or millennials, are looking at the future and wondering, where in the heck am I going to fit into this economy? A lot of people are really scared about the future. I thought maybe somebody would come to mind. If you took just a couple minutes, watch that video, see if someone comes to mind that you think might be good, that's entrepreneurially minded or open, because I want to be a part of expanding this company. It's really exciting for me. You kind of see how it kind of just annihilates like any objections, and they're either going to help you or they're not.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly what I did. It creates a little bit more dialogue and more taking it onto a very, if you want to call it a chat over a beer or something. And
it's very high vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's light. It's not. It doesn't feel awkward. It's like it's really natural, I guess is the word, and it makes sense. Like it's exactly what we should have been doing all along. I think a lot of us have been trained incorrectly in network marketing and have made it hard on ourselves.
Yes. Okay, thanks. I'll connect with you. I'm connecting with a guy that you may have known in our previous life with Manatech back in '96.
Excellent.
And so we chat with you later.
Fantastic. We're connected on Facebook, right?
Yes, and you
Okay,
get some good rest.
What's that?
Get some good rest and stay healthy.
All right, I think I'm doing it. I'm drinking my water. I'm eating my carrots and radishes, my watermelon. I'm doing pretty good. I had a hamburger. Full disclosure, I had a hamburger last night. I tried to stay away from the French fries. And the good news is, when I bit into the French fries, I didn't really like them that much because I've been staying away from that kind of food. I did like the hamburger, though, I will admit. So today was a radish and carrot and watermelon day so far. Thanks, Orest. All right, guys, we'll call it a day. Manny, my thoughts go out to you. It's always tough when you're kind of building up some excitement. For those that don't know, Alan has a lot of contacts. Alan's in a tough spot right now. I think he even admitted emotionally. He's gone from a very high place financially to a challenging place. Manny and I were excited to help him. Manny, don't give up on him yet, but don't reach out to him anymore for a while. I'll reach out to him, give him a few weeks, and let's go focus on creating and drumming up more fun and helping more people. And you'll be surprised when you put your energy there, how that becomes attractive to others around you. And that's how you really empower people, is by empowering yourself. And we do that here by keeping things really, really simple, keep them fun, laugh more, keep it light, keep it playful, and just have a blast. Okay, guys, we've been here an hour and a half, so I'm going to wrap it up. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. All right, guys, I'll be in touch soon. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I guess we're into a weekend already, aren't we? All right. Well, I thought I was going to take tomorrow off, but I'm not. I was going to go with my son to, I'll just share this real quick before I was going to go to my son to run the sand dunes, which would have been really healthy for me. Because he wanted to go hike the Pacific Crest Trail. For those of you who know what that is, it's a really, really vigorous uphill climb. And I was worried about his injuries. He was a runner. He was a really good runner. And then when he started to hit a growth spurt, he started getting injuries galore. And so he stopped running. And I heard some other injuries he was getting recently when he just lifted really light weights. And so I wasn't so interested in this idea of him going on the Pacific Crest Trail if he's getting all these injuries, because there's nothing you can do. If you get the injury, you still got to hike. And so I said, we need to do some kind of some workouts and stuff and see if you could handle that. And unfortunately, his knees are all swollen now. And so we're not going to do the sand dunes tomorrow. I think he has that, I don't know what it's called, but something that's pretty common with adolescents when they go through a growth spurt, but his knees are really swollen. So I don't get to go to the sand dunes tomorrow. But I do get to connect with more people. So I'll use that to catch up on, we've got the video that we're editing, the comprehensive review, for those of you waiting for the ads to turn on that are a part of that. That'll give me some time to wrap that up with Robin. And I got a lot of messages to catch up on, so I could use it. I'm having a blast, guys. I'm not overworking in any way. I'm getting an incredible endorphin rush from this and constantly. It is incredible flow. It is incredible attraction, magnetic kind of energy that I'm just feeling immersed in. It is absolutely a blast, and I really want to encourage you guys to go that way, because it's just so much easier. All right, guys, we'll keep you posted. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Okay, guys, hopefully you got amazing detail out of this webinar. It's amazing training by Mike Klingler, my business partner. We look forward to connecting again. Now, if you're not already part of the team, please see a link down below and lock in your position. Take a virtual tour, 4 simple step video virtual tour. We look forward to connecting and helping you out.